Today's topic is about the vasectomy, of course. Thank you for all of the ones who posted their Q&A question for this video. Let me just begin by saying, if you have missed the other 3 videos throughout this pregnancy journey, I highly suggest you to catch up and then come back to this one. If you have, hey, thank you for coming back again. And without further ado, let's get into this vasectomy story. Who, what, when, where, and why, and how. Okay. It was a clear, wait, it was a cold dark, wait, what? Oh my gosh, what is the word? It was a clear black night. And okay. But anyway, I have 3 children. However, after the 3rd, me and my husband decided to get a vasectomy. Dun dun. What's today? It's 2025 now. And I want to say 2018-ish is when the operation was done. Now, why? Why would we at our prime, young and tender age, I was about 22, so he was about 24. Why would we decide to get a vasectomy? Knowing that we wanted more children later on. Why? Why? That is human nature. Why? We chose to because I was not going to get my tubes tied. 1, because I knew that I wanted more children. And 2, I didn't like the thought of something being closed up in me and permanently. And well, I mean, tubes can be untied, but come on. If I was to be taken under for that once, I'm not going under again. So me getting tube tied was definitely no. That was out of the question. The second part is because I didn't want to be on birth control. The modern type of birth control pills, patches, shots, IUD contraption that they put up in you. I didn't want no parts of those type of birth control methods. What's crazy, but it's not crazy, because this is just proof that the divine is always working on our behalf, even if we don't understand it then, because then I was not as holistically or naturally aware of certain health practices or like natural living how I am now. But I just knew, I just felt it within me that that ain't the way for me to go. I'm not speaking negatively about anyone who has, but for me at that time, I just knew that this ain't for me. So I wasn't going to get tubes tied. I wasn't going to be on these birth control pills and patches. Then the third option was condoms. Now, we did wear condoms, but condoms, they be condoming. They interfere. The feelings don't feel the same. They be in the way. They are inconvenient. And after not wearing condoms and after seeking out information, I know that condoms are not healthy for the female's pH. Like, we shouldn't be putting that stuff up in us. So after about, I want to say, a year of condoms, we got tired of condoms. Wait, speaking of condoms, y'all, why, when we were cleaning a couple of months ago, why did my husband come across our condom stash? And I was like, how are these even still floating through our house? I thought that we trashed these things. Let me go. Hold on. Y'all, I said, not the stash. Not the magnums. When do these expire? Dang, they still don't expire, y'all. These expire August 1st, 2028. These things must last for 10 years, because we had these for a long time. But I'm like, How are these still floating around? And then it's a lot of them. I'm going to have to throw them away. I don't really want to, because to some people, these would be a benefit. These would help, right? But then I'll just be thinking about, well, it's not like healthy for the female, but I feel like it's healthier than birth control. I am at a crossroads. Shoot, what am I to do with all these condoms? Let's count real quick. 3, 6, 18, 28 condoms. How much money is this? And that's another thing. We were sick of condoms because condoms were not cheap. Like, I swear it was like a pack of 3 for almost $10. And I'm like, oh no, we can't keep buying these. This is not cost effective. And it's just in the way. So we got to cancel out this option as well. Then we ended up at a vasectomy. That was our last resort, okay? One, because we didn't have any more. And at the time, I didn't know about like natural birth control planning, how I do now, how I will tap into after we have the baby. Because I mean, after the baby, tubes are back together. There's no condoms, there's no birth control patches and pills, no tubes being tied. Okay, we got to do something. So I'm going to tap into the natural methods of birth control towards the end of 2025, 2026. But as for then, we was like, well, let's just learn and look into a vasectomy. So I felt super comfortable with that because, for one, I didn't have to have anything cut, taken out. I didn't have to be put to sleep. I don't got to be snipped. They ain't touching me. So I was fine. 2, the process was quick and it wasn't as painful to him. And then 3, we could always have it put back together how we did. So we went with the vasectomy, and it was at the time one of the best choices that we've made. It was convenient, it was helpful, it saved us money, it saved us time, so we could just pop, bam, make some action happen. But later on, I began to learn more and I began to question, like, how is this impacting him as a man, though? Because later on, I began to learn how when females get their tubes tied, that actually causes an impact in their whole system. Think about it like this. Our body is a interworking, interconnected system. When one thing is impacted, it affects everything else. But sometimes we don't think about that because we are just focused on what it can cause for us now and not technically look at within the next 12 months, 10, 15, 20 years. As I begin to learn about how when females get their tubes tied, that can impact their hormone system, neurological systems, emotions, then that's when I had to think, well, if that impacts a female, then it has to impact a male with a vasectomy. So I began to look into that. I didn't find much research on how a vasectomy impacts a male's internal system. However, it has to. At that point, you have to just go with common sense and with your intuition. So years later, I also wanted to begin to have children again. I feel like my body wants to have a child every 3 years. My first child is 14, my second one's turning 11 soon, and my third one is 8. Basically every 3. And I feel like since my last one, I was supposed to be having another child who is supposed to be 5 right now, one who's supposed to be 2 right now, and then this one. But that's just all me, y'all. That's just my inner thoughts. So I would say around 2020, 2019, I was really wanting to have another child. So we begin to try natural methods of reversing a vasectomy without the actual procedure, okay? I was doing my best. I was putting in my faith and putting in my spiritual powder on there and speaking it and touching it and doing my best to manifest it mentally so that physically it can happen without the procedure. To some people, that might sound crazy. At times, my thoughts may seem delusional because they are, but that's because I feel like there's power in that too. Anyway, after trying that without much consistency, without consistent faith, that option did not work. And we were like, okay, we're just gonna go through with the procedure and have his tubes clamped back together. And we did. It was about the summer of 2024. I'll post probably a video after this one of a compilation of clips that I've recorded throughout his vasectomy reversal experience. Okay, so not in this clip, but the next one. From the time that he had his tubes connected again, there was a little period of feeling like it wasn't going to work, of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. There was a period of not having faith that, okay, the tubes are tied and now we are in the process of healing, of reconnecting the tube to where it's supposed to be so that the sperm can come out healthy, fast, efficiently, and impregnate me one day. After months passed, because technically they say that depending on how long the vasectomy was in place, it can take you a long time to replenish that power back. But for us, the doctor said that we are in a great time and space, which is less than 10 years, because anything past that, you significantly increase the timing that it could take to replenish it, and you increase the risk of not having quality sperm. For us, once he was checked, he was like, look, he has healthy sperm in here. There should be no problems at all. And there wasn't no problems through his surgery, through the post care. He was fine. We just needed time to heal and to place our mind on other things. Then let's have a baby. Let's have a baby. It seems like the moment that we stopped caring, I didn't tell anybody this. I had like a pregnancy statue on my dresser to constantly remind me, like, there is a pregnancy that is coming, prepare. And I threw it away. I threw it away when I was doing some winter cleaning. Found out at the beginning of January that I was pregnant. And I know that that isn't a coincidence. I've been holding that pregnancy statue for years. I think maybe 2 to 3 years. And when I threw it away, when I let go of the thought of pregnancy, come on, let's do it, it just manifested into my life once I stopped putting so much stressful thoughts and just the thoughts of not allowing, so many thoughts of resistance around pregnancy, around these past pregnancy tests that I've taken and they came up as not pregnant. I had so much negative connotation around pregnancy that I wasn't even aware of until like a month ago, y'all. And matter of fact, let me get my pregnancy test. I done replaced the pregnancy statue on my dresser with the pregnancy test. Pregnant. You probably can't see it, but it still says pregnant. Take a sip of water now because I got to keep these fluids flowing. So I done replaced the pregnancy statue with the pregnancy test. And here we are after about 8 years of having a vasectomy, having it reversed, and then it taken less than 6 months for us to become pregnant. So I need to actually go tell the doctor thank you, give him a shout out, tell him, look, doc, you the man, it worked. So that's the vasectomy story. And before we end, I have some questions that people have asked me. 3 that I did not answer already. From a winning combination, she asked, how are you and hubby feeling about expanding your family from 5 to 6 in terms of providing and caring for each child as well as yourself? So, sis, that's a great question. We are excited about expanding because we've been thinking about expanding. This has been on one of our list of things to do. So, we are excited about that. And with expansion comes change, transformation, growth, a newness. So we are welcoming that, positioning ourselves, our mind, our body, our spirits for this. And it's up from here, sis. Thank you for asking. The next person, Phenomenal Woman Media, my sis, my birth plan for this baby. About the birth plan, I have to think on it and see if that's what I want to post about, even though, like I told y'all, that I would take y'all throughout this whole process, which I am. Hold up. I am. However, since posting about my pregnancy, I see things a little differently based off of certain responses, comments that I receive. And typically I don't account for those type of things at all. If you've been a supporter, you know that I post things, pictures about myself, my life, and my thought process that most people are not hip to. That naturally comes with criticisms, that naturally comes with people who are opposed, who might not respect it. And 10 times out of 10, I don't pay that stuff any mind. However, I've noticed within myself that through this pregnancy, I'm a little bit more careful as to what I want to say or post about my pregnancy, because now it's not only just me out there putting myself and my energy out there, but it's me and my baby. So it's kind of like a protective measure. So, sis, thank you for asking because I want to tell y'all everything. However, I know that my birth plan is also going to come with a lot of naysayers, a lot of negativity, and I'm just not sure if I want to even be exposed to all that. Or maybe not at this time. Maybe I'll post it afterwards. As of like right now in this month, I'm definitely not going to post this, sis. However, you can reach out because you're sis, okay? And you can just personally contact me and ask me, and I will definitely tell you, sis. So thank you for asking that. Then the last question, how did the vasectomy go? My husband just got a vasectomy before we got married, and we plan to reverse it in a few years. So just interested in similar experiences. That's by Ani Zaki, I think. 17713. Hey sis, so I'm excited for y'all. I love when people plan or like want children, they want a family, they want that. So I'm all for it for you and hubby. Go ahead, y'all. Get it on. But his process went well. And in the next video, I will be posting more specifically about his vasectomy reversal process. So, sis, the next video is for you. Make sure to tap in, tune in, and then comment on that video any other questions you might have afterwards. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the next video. If you like this, please put a thumbs up, a comment, and write down in the comments if you or a partner has had a vasectomy or is thinking about one, and any other questions that you might have. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all and see y'all on the next vid. Mwah.